I think Loy from loymachedo.com, and whoisloymachedo.com. The date right now is the 3rd of August 2014. Time is 9:34. And I just want to give you the review for Transformers Age of Extinction. Agreed, I'm going to give you a bit late, but better late than never. Anyway, see, the Transformers is a movie franchise where if you're not a Transformers fan, you'll not enjoy it very much, because all it does is it brings these larger than life metal bots. They come, they destroy everything, they fight with each other, they just have this endless series of action. So if you're not actually a Transformers fan, you'd find this movie kind of childish or kind of more like senseless, because there is just fighting. It never ends. However, if you like Transformers movie, the Transformers franchise is like a treat. You keep waiting for these movies to come out. And if you look at it that way, Transformers Age of Extinction is bigger, badder, and bolder. Now, apart from the Transformers 3, I felt this was by far the best. Transformers 3, the guy, I think, dies, he goes to heaven and he comes back. I found that really silly. No, Transformers Part 2, it was when the main character, the main character died, went to heaven and came back. So I felt that was stupid. Okay. So anyway, be warned if you have not watched this movie, there are spoilers ahead in my review. So now, first and foremost is check the ratings. Now, when Transformers came out in 2007, the rating was only 57% as per RottenTomatoes.com. In 2009, when Transformers Revenge of the Fallen came, it was 19%, and I agree, because it was pathetic. Then Transformers Dark of the Moon was, in 2011, was 36%, and now Age of Extinction, they have given it at 17%. So, they have never crossed more than 60%. It has been 57, 19, 36, 17, so it keeps going down. But now the question is, you ask yourself, why is Michael Bay then directing another movie of the same franchise? Simple. The first movie, Transformers, was a budget of 151 million, but it grossed 708 million. The second one was 210 million to create, and worldwide gross was 836. The third one was created at 195 million, and get this, the worldwide gross was 1.2 billion. Okay? So obviously, Michael Bay would definitely want to direct another Transformers movie, because the money is good. The money is really big. So, in this movie, the first thing that you notice is the brands that are mentioned and positioned. One was when Nicola Pletz, she brings a Budweiser to her father, so the Budweiser is positioned on a tray in such a way that you can actually make out it's a Budweiser. Then, when the action scenes takes place, there is a Budweiser truck that happens to blow up, and then you can see all the bottles of Budweiser, and he obviously drinks Budweiser. Then you have a Victoria's Secret bus with bold letters blowing up. You have Stanley Tucci, who drinks from a milk carton very slowly, and it's positioned in a way where you can see the brand. It's a Chinese brand, I don't know which one. Then Stanley Flame's a secret agent friend. She's drinking a Chinese water brand. So I felt most of these brands were positioned in a nice way. Not too obvious, but yes, they still kind of make you feel that, yes, brands are being shown here. So what has Michael Bay done differently this time? The entire climax of the movie is taking place in China and Hong Kong. So obviously, Michael Bay this time has done something really smart. He wants an international audience. He wants maybe new markets. So he has positioned the Chinese and people of the Hong Kong police force as the good guys. So they are not bad guys. So obviously, the popularity in these countries would rise and he would rake in more money. And the one thing that he has shown is the US and the US military is not the do-all, die-all, and be-all. So that, I think, some not so patriotic Americans would like it very much. What do you love about this movie? As usual, the war, destruction, 3D, bashing of metal monsters is like, it takes it to a whole new level. Mark Wahlberg, he plays the role of a comedic dad who is pretty insecure. Then Stanley Tucci, who plays a crazy self-conscious businessman who gets his reflective moment right at the end. Then you have Kelsey Grammer, who plays the role of a professional, persistent, and psycho patriot, which I thought he did pretty well. But if you want my opinion, I think it was Stanley Tucci who really, delivered the performance. But the icing on the cake, it must go to the Metal Monsters, because the way their facial features were shown, the way they went through the whole thing, I think it was brilliantly done, masterful. Weaknesses in the movie. There were a couple of weaknesses in the movie. If you're really paying attention to the movie, yes, there are plenty of loopholes. Plenty. First one is obvious. The hero never has any broken bones. I mean, you're talking of metal monsters the size of Godzilla. He jumps, hits, fights, goes between them. He gets ragdolled left, right, and center, and not a single broken bone in his body. Neither him, nor his daughter, nor any of the heroes. The next one is Optimus Prime. He dies and he comes back to life, and he dies and he comes back to life, and he dies and he comes back to life. So you begin to wonder, is this guy ever going to die? Then you have Dinobots who suddenly come out of nowhere and they start breathing fire. I mean, it looks a little silly. I mean, come on. Okay. Then the inability of the spaceship. There's this massive spaceship, a large spaceship, state of the art, which can go through time zones and warp through universe, but it's not able to detect that someone has breached the hull. So I felt that was a little, stupid. Character flaws. Mark Wahlberg, his character is pretty irritating. I mean, first he has this one-liners which are totally hopeless and stupid, and then all that he has this brief moment where from a dumb dad who can't fight at all, he becomes this hardcore metal monster mashing killer. So I felt that was a bit too far-fetched. I mean, size does matter. You got to think about it. Then Nicola Pletz, she plays a tough daughter, but then she has this absurd, silly little, I'm a goody-goody girl kind of behavior, which kind of irritates you. And then you have her boyfriend, Jack Rayner, who does only one thing, that is drive a car valiantly through all the metal monsters. I didn't think his role was that important. Anyway, and finally, the most irritating thing was Optimus Prime giving you his long-awaited sermon in the end. He always does this. Every Transformer, he has to give you that long sermon. So you begin to think like, come on. The length of the movie is pretty long. I think close to 2.5 hours or more. The movie did have its boring bits, especially towards the second half. But then I think the action kind of compensates everything else. But yes, if you look around, you constantly see people checking their phones, and the whole theater is lighting up with all these lights. So you know that people are bored. So, moment of truth. Now, if you are a Transformers fan, if you like action, if you like all this crazy bits, I think the effects, 3D, the destruction, the fight sequence, everything is state of the art. It's like more like a porn of sorts. So you would love it. But if you're not a Transformers fan, you would find this movie senseless. So overall, I give this, as a fan, 6.5%. 6.5 out of 10. If you're a normal viewer, if you're not a Transformers fan, I would give this a 3 out of 10. So Loy from loymachedo.com, giving you the movie review of the Transformers. Let me know what you think. Did you like it, not like it? And love to hear.